Hello, this is the TradeSite U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for the week beginning Monday, the 26th of October, 2015, ending on Friday, the 31st or 30th, day before Halloween, end of the month as well, as we head into already the 11th month of the year. Here is a look at the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart, and thanks to a couple strong earnings reports out of Google and Amazon, market gapped up and kept going Thursday and Friday and pushed us back up into that range we were stuck in for months. So we have now reclaimed the entire loss that was seen in August. And again, we're past the point in the year where usually the markets bottom out. Usually it happens around October 15th. And as you know, this is already the 23rd. So we're a week beyond that. And the market is behaving like it usually does at this time of year. It just seems to have bottomed out a little bit early. And so we'll see what we've got left in the tank for the last 2 months, which are usually very strong trading months either way. And so we look forward to the rest of the year from this point forward. On the whole, let's talk about today. We'll look at the gap in the intraday action, but the S&P was up 20, almost 23 points on 2 billion NASDAQ shares. But keep in mind, as I'll show you in a moment, Amazon and Google and some others traded heavier than normal. So the rest of the market was kind of dead. The NASDAQ 100, you can see the big gap here, and it closed right where it opened, up 120 points. Again, the intraday action was very flat, which we kind of expected for a Friday after earnings get done. And you don't like to see the big gaps like this. It really makes for awful trading environment. Here's the SOX, which was only up 7. Biotechs, on the other hand, were up 91 points. The VIX was literally up a penny, which is less than meaningful. Trend closed at 0.97. 10-day moving average of that is at 1.29, which is not a reading either way. Here's a look at the volume. Again, the last 2 days, both near at 1.92 billion shares on the NASDAQ. Advanced decline ratio, the breadth wasn't great. 900 plus 978 on the NASDAQ, plus only 573 on the New York. So that's not phenomenal considering how much the markets looked like they were up. Google ended up selling off a bit after the big gap up, but still closed up 38 points. And if you look at the bottom there at the volume, you can see how strong the volume was for that move, and that helped the market out. Apple was up $3.50. Amazon, another gapper that sold off a little bit from the highs, closing up near 600, up 35 points, and again, one of the biggest volume days in quite a while. Amazon putting in another solid quarter. Here's a look at Netflix, which was up $2.72. We'll take a quick look at Microsoft. All three of the big ones that reported after the bell Thursday, which was Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, all came in above expectations. So even Microsoft gapping up here, having a really solid session and the biggest volume in a long time. 135 million shares on the Nasdaq. That is a whopper of a number there. So what do we have for the week ahead? Oh, real quick look at oil. It's down 65 cents, closing at 44.72, and a look at gold, which was down $2.80. So we don't have any technical setups in the market to focus on because of the gaps and everything. We'll take a look at that now so you can see what the intra-week action looked like. Here's 10-minute candles on the ES. This will show you the whole week. So again, Monday we gapped down a little bit, managed to get up and fill the gap. It's interesting because, well, we always talk about gaps not leading to the best trading days when they're big gaps. We had a super week this week on the stocks and futures side. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday were absolutely phenomenal. And if you look at it, it doesn't even look like the market did much on those days. And for us to have had that during earnings season, that's uncommon. So Monday, gap down, filled the gap, closed about at the gap fill, pretty much even. Tuesday, small gap down, filled the gap very quickly, dead sideways and closed even. Wednesday, gapped up, filled the gap, tried to head lower late in the session a bit. And then Thursday, you finally get the bigger gap on some of the earnings from after the market Wednesday, and you kept going after that. So it was a gap and go session. Those are tougher to trade. And then Friday, even worse, a gap up and flat. Most of the market didn't do much. Like I said, the three stocks really were most of the volume there. So that's the NASDAQ side. And I'm sorry, that's the broad market side. Here's the NASDAQ side, which looks even funnier when you've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday so flat. We were actually down about 20 points for the week, or a little more than that actually, 30 points for the week after the close on Wednesday. And then from that point on, we've run 220 points on the NASDAQ 100 index. It's a big move. All right, so what do we have to look forward to in the week ahead so we can get our heads focused? Monday, just the new home sales, not a big deal. Tuesday, durable orders an hour before the bell, not a big deal. Case-Shiller 20-city housing index, not a big deal. The consumer confidence number can move the market. That's 30 minutes in. But we do start a 2-day Fed meeting on Tuesday. So keep that in mind. That tends to slow things down a little bit. I still think we can have a reasonable day Tuesday. On Wednesday, though, 7 a.m., the MBA mortgage index, an hour in, the weekly crude oil inventories number, and then at 2 p.m. Eastern time, that's that Fed announcement. Obviously, everybody's waiting to see if the Fed's going to start raising rates, and does the fact that these three big tech companies just had blockbuster earnings, is that going to have an impact on that? So we'll keep an eye on that, but the Fed rate announcement is at 2 p.m. and usually leads to a kind of a slower session all day Wednesday until that announcement. Hopefully we'll get something after it. We've got the initial and continuing jobless claims. That's the weekly number on Thursday, an hour before the bell. But more important, we have the first look at gross domestic product for the third quarter. That's a quarterly number. You'll get a revised number next month and another revised number around Christmas, but it's this number that's the big one. Typically will cause a gap. I think Thursday has a good chance to be the better trading day of the week. So I'm really focused on Tuesday and then Thursday. Wednesday might be a little iffy just because of the Fed announcement and waiting for it. Monday we could get off to a decent start just because we have some energy in the market from these gaps. And then Friday we've got some data: personal income and spending, PCE prices, employment cost index, Chicago PMI, and Michigan sentiment. However, keep in mind by Friday, not only is it a Friday, you're heading into the Halloween weekend, and you're heading into it is the end of the quarter, or end of the month. So end of month statement printing on a Friday tends to lead to a fairly dull session. So we'll see how the rest of the week goes, but I would expect Friday to be the lighter day of the week, really. Going in this weekend right now, that while I'm talking, is the time change in Europe. Next weekend, which is Halloween on Saturday, is the time change here in the US, and that will set the clocks back for that extra hour sleep, and that helps everybody out. We will be in the lab trying to help you make money. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. Our 6-month stock mentorship program now comes with a money-back guarantee. You can contact us for details, and hope you have a great trading week. If you do find these videos useful, please like them on YouTube. It does help us out.